ESPN's Adam Schefter reports that former Ravens head coach John Harbaugh is expected to emerge as the favorite for the Giants head coaching vacancy. And we talked about this at 8 p.m. LV or New York were probably the teams we'd hear first emerge. And this would be fantastic news for either one of those situations. Kubiak would also be fantastic for either one. I think if we can get Kubiak to land in LV or New York and John Harbaugh to land in LV or New York, we're looking at a really, really nice marriage of head coach and talent and likely upward trajectory for everybody involved. We're here to break it down, the Fantasy Football Show Graveyard Edition, the live at midnight Eastern, almost every single night edition. That show begins right now.
You're watching a
Graveyard Stream.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
So this would be a great situation, I think, for this Giants, arsenal of weaponry. Scatterboo. I mean, look at the run attack that they've had. Not, necessarily everything recently. I think a lot of people are going to draw lines and make determinations based on what Harbaugh and the Ravens have done or not done, rather, the last year or two. The reason why Harbaugh's gone is things haven't been very good in Baltimore recently. They haven't been able to get over that hump, and Lamar has been a problem. Now news broke that part of why Harbaugh ran out of town was because he didn't want to move on from Todd Monken. And so who knows what does Monken go over to New York? Like, how does this work? What happens in New York? If Harbaugh goes to New York, what's this offense look like? Who will be the coordinator? Who will be Harbaugh's coordinator? That's still an important piece. Harbaugh going over to New York doesn't just automatically make New York great. We still need the OC. Sometimes a mediocre coach like Sirianni can go to a team, and it all depends on the coordinator. And Harbaugh will have a say in what coordinator to bring over, obviously, but it does come down to coordinator sometimes as much as it does head coach. So we have to be careful not to just immediately start drawing conclusions. We need to know what is in store for all of that. But certainly Malik Neighbors goes up in value initially, and probably will with the coordinator announcement. Cam Scatterboo goes up in value, no doubt about it. If he's in a system where Harbaugh wants to ground and pound and do a little Derrick Henry-esque vintage rushing type action. And then, of course, Jackson Dart becomes a pretty lethal threat no matter what, just being handed Malik Neighbors, just being handed a better situation and environment, just being handed a better coach. Dart is going to be an exciting prospect walking into the 2026 season and beyond. A quarterback that I admittedly did not love a ton walking into the 2025 NFL draft. I'll admit, I was not the biggest Dart fan, but he's won me over, and he looks pretty damn solid, just like Shuck. Shuck has won me over too. Dart and Shuck were two QBs I did not have highly ranked, admittedly, coming out of the NFL draft process, but Dart has come along strong. Sometimes QBs, and I always leave room for this, and I'll continue to no matter what. I always leave room for people to come into the National Football League and mature and become and turn into a player they were not as a prospect. Tom Brady was nothing, and I'm not trying to compare anybody to Tom Brady, but Tom Brady's the best example we could ever come up with of not being what he was in college. What do you have, 2,600 yards? I think his highest passing yardage total in college with those 2 years, the two bigger years, were like 2,600 and 2,700, I believe. Ziggy, what were the most yards that Tom Brady ever threw in a college season?
Tom Brady threw for 2,427
24.
yards in his 1998 college season, which was his highest single
24.
season total at Michigan.
Ziggy off. Ziggy turn off. I was wrong. 2,400. So we don't know what someone's going to be. We can try and project it, and there's odds of a player becoming something greater than their prospect value. Of course, there's odds against a Dart or a shuck in my mind going into the draft process, but you always have to keep an open mind because I overlook Dart, I overlook Shuck. I like both of them right now. They're fantastic options for not only the NFL organizations that they play for, but in fantasy and in feeding the fantasy assets attached to them. Scatterboo, Neighbors, Olave, hopefully Jeremiah Love in New Orleans.
Mashed potatoes!
Two of the more exciting teams walking into the future, the Giants. And dare I say, the Saints and Giants, for sure, too. But dare I say a third, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Mashed potatoes!
If you're just waking up and you've been living under a rock or at least sleeping under one for the last 24, 48 hours, the Raiders are on the rise. The Raiders are on the rise. They got rid of Pete Carroll. The Wicked Witch is dead.
I smell meatloaf.
And they're bringing in, they're going to bring in the right people. We hope it's like Kubiak. If Kubes comes in, it's going to be very similar to Seattle in some ways. Tom Brady feels like he's got his grip on this situation, whereas I don't think he did walking into last season. I think Pete Carroll was brought in. It was Pete Carroll bringing in Geno no matter what. Tom Brady saying, okay, I'm going to sit back and let it happen. Let me know what you need. And then they consult with Tom Brady about, hey, we've already screwed this up. What would you do to best get out of this situation? Or what would you do to best manage this bad situation? And Tom's like, well, you can do this or that, but you're probably going to fail. And then Tom's being asked now, what would you do now, Tom? Let's clean slate this thing. Let's scrape it from the ground, build the new foundation, and build the team up from it. The Raiders are on the rise. The Giants are on the rise. The Saints are on the rise. These are three very, very exciting organizations with a plethora of talent, and all are going to have good quarterbacks to build upon. Mendoza is most likely going to be the QB in LV. That's exciting news. I've got the draft order right here. Las Vegas drafting 1 overall. LV's going to snag Mendoza. Mendoza's going to throw to Bowers. Bowers is going to stretch the field. And Gentry's going to rip off big, long runs every single game.
Mashed potatoes!
Hey, I'm Dom, and I drive fast cars, get hot chicks, and draft Ashton Genty double fist style with 2 cell phones at the same time. Why do I have 2 cell phones? One for looking up Ashton Genty stats all day, the other is for getting chicks.
Very excited about all 3 of these situations in 2026 and beyond. LV, New York Giants, and also the New Orleans Saints. Very exciting. All on the upward trajectory, stock on the rise for everybody involved. Phone lines are open. Let's talk Harbaugh specifically if we can. You got other questions you want to throw at me? No problem. But we are going to try our best to discuss Harbaugh at this moment in time and what this means for this arsenal of weaponry, specifically Scatterboo, Dart, Neighbors, Wandell probably leaving to go get a bag. I doubt that the Giants can keep him. Dial into the show.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
It's going to be quite an intro. Oh, the phone lines are not open. Hold on. Let me reboot them. I think they're acting funny anyway. Okay, phone lines should be open now. So if anybody wants to dial in. Let's see if Denny left a voicemail, because I do have a bunch of voicemails here. And I do have a voicemail from Denny. Let's play this one, please.
J-Mo. I always say J-Mo. You're pussy.
What's he calling J-Mo? He's upset at J-Mo. Ron, you're live.
Hey, what's up? Smitty?
Harbaugh. Likely going to the Giants.
I know, Harbaugh.
Right now, it seems. We don't know. There's no for sure on this, but he's a lead candidate unless he decides he wants to step away for a year. But he could.
You don't think Cleveland will try to get him, do you?
Hold on, let me merge Travis in. I don't think Cleveland has a chance. I don't think Cleveland has a chance in hell of getting Harbaugh over New York or, one of these other teams that has just a much better situation. Cleveland's there's some good structure there if you had but it feels very similar to LV. You're building on faulty ground, You got a $47 million contract that's still owed to Deshaun Watson for 2026 alone. You messed up the quarterback situation. You drafted 2 guys, and you don't know what the hell you're doing with that. Judkins just suffered a near career-altering injury. Everything's in shambles. Judy's a good player, but vanishes, and they don't use him right. Fannon's a nice, bright upside. Defense has some promise, obviously. There's some good pieces, but I feel like it's like LV. They're building on faulty ground. They need to come in and rip the floor out from under it, and I don't think Harbaugh's up for that. I think Harbaugh wants to walk into a nice situation. New York's really, really solid. Lots of good pieces there. I mean, Dart played very good for not having the weapons that he'll have this year. So it's going to be pretty interesting to watch, but we'll see. He's got to bring in the right OC.
Well, I mean, Harbaugh's been Baltimore staple for years, kind of like same as Tomlin in Pittsburgh, right? So what happens when Houston beats Pittsburgh, boom, and Tomlin decides to walk away? Pittsburgh hires Harbaugh, and Baltimore hires Tomlin. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Tomlin's fate will be tied to this next game. I think if you guys lose like a close, if it's a close battle, and let's just say the Pittsburgh Steelers almost win this game, it's a tough defense. I don't think you guys have a shot, in my opinion. But if, let's say, a defensive score happens early on, special teams, whatever, and it just Stroud can't score, and the Pittsburgh D then steps up, and you have that lead that's not Aaron Rodgers necessarily generated, but I think there's a shot that we're all just dumbfounded that this team and this team and Tomlin don't want to divorce. But we certainly don't know how it's going to end.
They need to.
If it's an embarrassment, then I could see it being a forced issue. But I don't know. It's hard to say. Hard to say right now. Same thing with Baltimore. Baltimore would have won that game, and if they were sitting here in this week, they won that Week 18 contest. If Loop would have just made that damn kick, if he would have made one kick, a very locked automatic kick, then Harbaugh's not fired. Like, that's the crazy part about this world we live in. Well, hold on, let me just hold on one second. Because I set the merge DJ in real quick. Okay, DJ's merged in. We live in a world where go ahead.
He kicked the ball out of bounds too. Everybody forgets about that. So he gave the Steelers the ball on the 40-yard line with that kick out of bounds. So he just didn't mess up the field goal. He got the out of bounds kick too. But Boswell screwed up too with an extra point. But if Boswell makes that extra point, there's no way Baltimore can win. They can only tie.
But I'm just saying that if Baltimore won that game, Harbaugh's not fired. Like, that's how crazy it is. We're talking about it's hard to put this into like a perspective, but we're talking about such a laser shot that's just off by just a slight, not even a millimeter, but a mile down the road, it misses the target entirely by the time it gets there. Like, just this one little thing veered in this other direction. This whole other Spider-Verse got opened up where Harbaugh's gone. Lamar still could get traded, probably won't. I'm sure that's part of it. They want to just move on from Harbaugh, see if they could fix this piece. If they can't, then they'd obviously rebuild after that. That's my gut instinct on this anyway. I don't think they're going away from Harbaugh and going away from Lamar, but anything's possible. We certainly don't know, but what a difference. Like, if Tomlin loses this game, Tomlin is in the Steelers almost certainly divorce after the season, mutually, like Kingsbury and the Washington Commanders. But now we don't know. It's literally one kick decides everybody's fate. It's crazy. It's wild.
Yeah. Well, is it a coincidence that the pregame priest was doing holy water in that exact end zone that he missed?
I don't agree.
Yeah, that's a crazy fact there.
I don't agree with rigging and all that.
But see, Pittsburgh should have lost the first game against Baltimore. Remember when Likely caught that pass and then they made it was a touchdown, and then they overturned it. There was no way that should have been overturned. So Baltimore just didn't get screwed once; they got screwed twice. Baltimore should have won both of those games.
Yeah.
Realistic. I mean, looking at it,
Tomlin on
and Pittsburgh should have been called for a leverage penalty on that field goal try. Because if you go back and you look, you can see the Pittsburgh player coming up.
I
the
mean,
middle.
but you can see that in all kinds of plays. Tomlin's still on thin ice as golf.
Yeah.
I hear you, Travis. Go ahead. You're live real quick, and then I'll go over to DJ, and then back to.
Hey, Travis.
So, what's up, Ron? I think Tomlin's gone either way, and I've been saying it a lot, but I think because there's so many potentially attractive situations out there this year, I think it's a good time for him to leave and establish himself somewhere else, because one way or another, the shelf life is running out in Pittsburgh. And if he waits another year, there might not be great jobs open. You know, it doesn't happen every year where there's 7 or 8 jobs open, and multiple where you could potentially, even if you only sign a Malik Willis, but Malik Willis, Jackson Dart, the Raiders. I could see him going to Baltimore. I don't see Harbaugh going to Pittsburgh. I think Harbaugh, because he has the pick of the litter, will go wherever he's going to be set up the best. Like Ben Johnson wanted Chicago because it had Caleb. He had the run of everything, and it had all these weapons too. And they rebuilt the line, and so I think it's going to be similar with Harbaugh. There's no reason for him to go to a situation without a quarterback. I think is the biggest thing.
Yeah, I totally can see.
Well, there was also a rumor. That Tomlin, if he leaves, if he walks away, he's not going to go. He's going to take a break from coaching and go up into the booth and be an analyst or go on TV.
That's not really a rumor. That's someone says that they think that's the case. That does not come from Tomlin or anything. That's just somebody making up some bullshit. Like that, they might be right on it.
That's a rumor that they were talking about.
But they might be right on it. But it's It's just somebody's thought process. They just said, look at what Schefter. The one that came up with that was Ian Rappaport. Rappaport was the originator of that piece of information, and Rappaport said it was an opinion comment. It wasn't something based on fact, and he just said, you look at Sean Payton. It wouldn't be shocking if he took a year off. It is certainly a possibility, but there's nothing true. Like there's nothing factual on that. It could happen because it seems logical, but there's nothing.
I actually think the Ravens
that came out on it.
Ravens make a ton of sense for Tomlin if they wanted him. But
yeah. So we got. I'm gonna put the teams on screen here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think these are all the 7 potential teams that need spots. So I really could see Tomlin. I don't know that I could see Tomlin go anywhere but Baltimore. I think it would make some sense. It feels like a Tomlin team. It feels like it feels right. It feels right.
Go to New York too.
Maybe.
Or the Raiders.
What about Atlanta? Did Tomlin go to Atlanta?
I guess he could. I think Travis is right. Baltimore feels right, but I don't know. I definitely also agree he could take time off, but I'm just saying that's speculating. There's nothing concrete on that he said anything, because he's not going to speak on that. Like, if I get fired, I'm going to take a year off. Like, there's zero. But it does make sense that he would want to wait. I know what Travis is saying, that spots would be gone. This is now is the time to grab one of these spots, though. It would be a mistake for Tomlin to take a year off when you're looking at these amazing landing. These are some amazing landing spots for a head coach. I don't think you'll get a chance to rebuild LV. I mean, this is a phenomenal startup right here. This situation with Mendoza, and I don't think getting Lamar Jackson, regardless of what people think of Lamar, phenomenal opportunity to walk into if you're Tomlin or whoever.
And the Ravens defense is still good.
Atlanta's just confused. Atlanta sucks because it's like a amazing vehicle with the best pit crew, with the best engine, with the best body of the vehicle and aerodynamics and the spoilers, and you got everything going except for the engine. And you don't know what the engine looks like, what the engine's going to be. Is it this? Is it that? You got Cousins reworking his deal, so he's probably leaning toward them moving on from Kirk Cousins. And that's what that probably signifies, although anything can happen. Penix Jr. will even be healthy. Should they even be moving on from Cousins if Penix Jr. is not healthy? Will they be able to bring in a quarterback that won't step on Penix Jr.'s toes? Or should they step on his toes and say, screw that, we're bringing in Tua? Who knows? Arizona's a really intriguing spot. I think Brissett's pretty damn good. McBride, you got the number 3 overall pick. I mean, that's a really good spot for a coach to walk into. These are all really good spots. And the number 1 spot of them all might be New York. So, yeah, if you're Tomlin and you're probably going to be one of the most attractive coaching hires if he is available, you are most likely wanting to step into the ring here and try and get one of these teams because you don't know what's in store, like Travis said, in 2027, 2028. Who knows?
Even Tennessee, has some young pieces, has Cam Ward there. It's going to take a certain coach. I don't think it's Tomlin to do it, but that's not even a terrible spot. If you're saying that's the worst one,
it is.
That's a place someone could go and build.
Yeah, maybe.
There's a young quarterback there. I know people are already writing Cam Ward off. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not writing him off, but I do feel like that situation's so bland. I don't know, but like, isn't it crazy when you think about it? Like, who's the worst team in the league right now? If you had to,
Jets.
You what?
Jets.
Okay, Jets. I would say I would rather. Yeah, Jets are pretty bad, but I almost would rather have the Jets than the Titans if I was a coach. I don't know. I feel like the Titans have a lot.
I wouldn't because of the QB.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I'm higher on Ward, though. Ward did exactly what I thought he would this year. I thought he would show really nice flashes and be really inconsistent. But there's a lot more to build there, you're right, besides that. Whereas New York the Jets have other pieces, they just need to get the quarterback.
Yeah. The Jets would be smart to go after Willis or Mac Jones, or I mean, even taking a shot on Kyler would be worth a try versus nothing. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like you could do a lot with that number 2 pick too. I don't know. Tennessee, I just feel like part of me wonders if they're going to take a wide receiver. Part of me wonders if they're going to take. I mean, they have so many holes. Got to protect Cam Ward. I don't know what they're going to do. Some people have suggested what if they took Jeremiah Love, but I don't know that you want that. Wouldn't be the end of the world landing spot for him, but I don't think it's what I would want. For me, it's all about New Orleans, KC. Those are the 2 spots you want him to go to. Arizona would be interesting because Arizona always has good running back play. I mean, James Conner has been a top 10 running back for years, and they throw to the running back. They thrive, but Arizona also screws up a lot too. So I don't know that I would want that personally. So it probably
be a crowded room too.
I don't know what I would.
Benson and Conner.
Yeah. I think if Conner were not still on the roster, they love Conner in Arizona. And Benson, we'll find out if something happened to Benson and he had more delays. Like, what happened? Do they have to have another surgery? Like, what's going on with him? We don't have any updates. So I don't know how they feel about Benson or what's going on with Benson, but he certainly just completely fell off the radar. But Arizona would be an intriguing spot for Love. It just wouldn't be my favorite. I think New Orleans is by far and away my favorite spot. If Jeremiah Love doesn't go to the New Orleans Saints, I think I'll be part of me will be pretty upset. Even if he goes to KC, part of me will still wish that he went to New Orleans. I think it's the best spot. But KC would be good too. Dallas would be great if they don't bring back Javonte.
I was going to say New Orleans or Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Dallas feels like they probably will try to bring back Javonte, but we'll see. And Javonte feels like he could be the kind of running back that would say, I'll give you a hometown discount because you believed in me. I believed in you. We believed in each other. And I don't know that I want to go learn something else and have it. But then again, money talks. But the thing is, will money talk? Well, will a running back actually command a big market in the NFL? Hard to say.
I don't think
You know, like what team's going to go after
not
him?
a ton of open spots.
Yeah, what team's going to go after him? We got the running back landing spots: KC, Dallas, New Orleans. So, yeah, I mean, obviously Dallas, he wouldn't. He's being retained there, but Washington, I don't think they're going to spend big money on a Javonte contract. Not that running backs get paid a ton, but Minnesota maybe, the Jets maybe. Hard to say.
Well,
They'd
this
really
is
have
why
to
I
blow
think
them away,
that
though.
yeah, this is why I think that Love's value probably going to have him in top 10. Whoever grabs him.
Oh yeah, he's locked in the top 10.
You know. Yeah, I think he's locked. What's up, gentlemen?
What's up, DJ?
Best show on the planet. Best show on the planet.
DJ.
Wanted to chime in real quick with Harbaugh. You know, we have the teams that, of course, have the openings, right? But I don't know. There may be a team or two that is like, you know, we like you, but Harbaugh's available. You know, we like you, but Tomlin's available. So I would think that there are probably a couple of teams who have coaches currently, be it in the playoffs, or not, that might
like who? Name a couple. I'm not
out.
disagreeing with you, but I'm curious what.
No, yeah, just maybe
Cincinnati,
yeah. Cincinnati comes to mind.
They sound like they've already made their decision, though. Could they change it? I mean, anything's possible.
Of course.
But
yeah,
Tampa Bay. That is definitely one that's still teeter-tottering for sure. Miami Mike seems safe.
Jets.
Jets and Tampa, I would agree with you. They're still not 100% like making their intentions, I think, cemented. Because
I think the Bengals are crazy not to make a move.
Yeah, you know what might happen with the Bengals? It feels like they're not doing it, and it felt like Harbaugh wasn't going to get fired for a little bit, and then it did, and then it didn't, and then it felt like Jonathan Gannon was not going to necessarily get fired. It did, and it didn't, and then the move happened. Wouldn't be completely out of left field if the Bengals decided to move on, but it does sound like he's already speaking about what staff he's bringing back and not bringing back. That was the news today. Like he's not going to change the staff, and unless that goes against what the ownership wanted and they're beefing, we don't know about it. It's hard for me to imagine he'd be speaking about that unless he was made known. If it was made known that he was staying, and it looks like it has, that does appear to be the case. But I don't know. I guess the only ones to me that seem like what you're saying, DJ, which is a good point though, because there are two teams that we don't have on the board: Jets and the Bucks. They could certainly be. I'll put them on the board now.
Oh, we don't have the Browns up there either.
Oh, yeah.
No, they're opening. Granted, I don't think Tomlin or Harbaugh go there. But.
No, you're right though. Stefanski, man. I don't know, boys.
Yeah, I think they both had their. I think they both will have their their pick. And in fact, both of them are pretty similar. Neither one of them are X and O's guys, right? They're just good head coaches. So the team around them is be as important. So I think with them, it's not a matter of like certainly everybody needs a QB, right? But they could pick because they just coach. You know what I mean? They can build a team. So they could have their pick a little bit. I don't think they'll be limited in terms of how they would pick and what team they would pick because they don't do X and O's. Sort of the QB, of course. That's always a plus. Just my opinion.
We'll see what happens. The best and most.
I think they'll both have their.
The most attractive landing spot
1 and 2, bro.
To me is New York. Second most attractive landing spot probably going to be. I think a lot of teams will see Pittsburgh and Baltimore as a lot of coaches would see that as attractive spots. But to me, To me, if I'm picking, it's New York, then LV or Atlanta. And I could go either way on that. The only reason why I like LV more, in some ways, if I'm picking a job to I want to be there for 10, 15 years, is because you have Mendoza, you have Bowers, you have Genty. I like Bijan more than Genty, but Genty could be the number 1, number 2, number 3 running back in the National Football League at any given moment. Like, he is that good, and Bowers is easily as good as McBride. Doesn't matter what McBride did this year production-wise. Bowers is still him. He was injured all year. You have literally maybe the best player at those two positions. Atlanta's no different than that. You've got Max Crosby, who we haven't even mentioned. Yet we haven't gone to the defensive side, but you have Max Crosby, who I think you can motivate to want to stay on this team if Brady sits down with them and says, this is the plan. He
wants to stay.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be sat down and told you're not playing because we're tanking and this type of stuff. But that's gone.
Max Crosby, Mendoza, Bowers, Genty. You know what? I might even.
That's my number one.
Yeah,
spot.
I was just gonna say I might even.
It's my number one.
I might even switch it and say that if you said go anywhere, it might sound crazy, but I trust Mendoza, Bowers, and Genty and Max Crosby more than I trust the top 4 players on any of these other teams. And that says a lot, too, because I love London and I love Bijan, but you don't have that connective piece that makes those two work. Like, I think that's a quad you can't replicate. New York's exciting, and I love it. And I definitely won't want to go there. But I think I'm changing my mind. LV is my number 1 landing spot if I'm a coach and I want to do something great. And a real casual is going to come in here and go, this is crazy talk. The Raiders last year were last year. That's all I ever hear from people that come in here and they think they know something more than a fantasy guy. You're a fantasy guy. You don't understand. I understand more than you think. You have to know all sides of this, including what the bozo that says something like that knows. I have to know what he knows and know what's under the hood, under the predictive and production stuff. It's not a test of what's happened in the past. It's not a test of what team has failed. It's about evaluating the situation for what it is right now. And LV has the most upside that's untapped. Yeah, it's a mess right now, but they've bulldozed the lower level. They've cleared everything out. They've laid a new base of cement foundation, and they're going to build on top of it. And you either believe that it's going to work with Mendoza or you don't. It is what it is. So, I'm going to change my tune to LV. I'm going to have a video on LV very, very soon, even though I've said a lot of it. All right, go ahead, Travis.
If you don't believe, real quick, and I'll be quiet for a minute. Real quick, if you don't believe Mendoza's going to be it, you could try to and I doubt they'll do it, but you could try to go get a Lamar or something. Yeah. You can use that number 1 pick to do different things.
Yeah, I mean, would I trade the 1 pick and let's say another pick? I don't know what it would be, just hypothetically, the number 1 overall and another pick for Lamar. I'm not saying it first necessarily, but yes, I probably would. You put Lamar on a team with Bowers, he plays nice with the tight end. No pun needed, no pause needed. And then you got Genty. I mean, you
think of what he does with Henry.
I mean, it would be fantastic. Yeah. Then who? What OC? Wouldn't that be amazing if let's say the organization brought in Harbaugh, and then he didn't have a say, and then they traded for Lamar? That'd be wild. That'd be wild. Harbaugh, Lamar meet Harbaugh.
Yeah, I like how you think. Yeah, I like how you think.
They're both sitting there. Like, this was awkward. When I took a upper decker in your personal toilet on the way out the door, I'm very, very sorry about that. No problem, Lamar. It's fine. You were heated. Could have ate a little protein, but you were heated. I understand. Anything else? I'm probably not gonna be here much longer tonight, boys. So I'm gonna go over to let's go over to DJ, then to Ron Navy, then to Travis, and then I'll close it up. But DJ, your final thoughts on this coaching carousel, specifically Giants, maybe Harbaugh, maybe whatever?
I think the Giants would be the number one pick. I get your point with regard to Vegas, and what be it Harbaugh or Tomlin. Like I said, they're not like X's and O's guys. They're like a team builder guy, culture guy. So, that does make sense in terms of Vegas. But the defense up there in New York, they are pretty stout, except on the back end. And their philosophies, Tomlin as well as Harbaugh, basically is what? Play defense, run the ball, and chunk plays. That's just my final thought. Best show on
All right,
the
thanks,
planet,
DJ. I
guys.
appreciate you. This caller right here, you're live. What is your what's your name, caller, and where are you calling from? You got about 30 seconds because I'm on the way out the door, but go ahead.
Hey, it's Anthony from Detroit. I just wanted to throw something in there. I don't know if you guys talked about this. I'm just jumping on. But Detroit fired their offensive coordinator.
He was fired when they took away his iPad, like mid-season. But yeah.
I'm just wondering what you guys think. I'm wondering if what I want to see is them go get Dayball for their OC. But I'm just wondering who you guys thought would be available for that position.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier on the earlier show, and we said
An attractive job.
we said what coach, what head coach, type of name would go down to OC. It happens. Look at Arthur Smith.
I think Dayball would be great if they could get him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I would like to see Dayball get in there.
Dayball would be good.
Goff needs a guy
Todd
like
Monken would be good, but I think he's going college. He's going on the college side, but we'll see what happens with Monken. Kubiak's going to get a head coaching job, so that's not going to, he's not leaving unless he's getting upgraded. It's hard to say. Kingsbury, I think, is headed. He's got his sights on a head coaching job. I don't think he'd leave one OC job for another, but he might not find a head coaching job because he just had a failure of a season. But will somebody say, not so quick? It wasn't his fault. JD5 got hurt. What he did the year prior is worthy of, I think, consideration. I don't know. But, Kingsbury would be amazing in some ways too. We'd have to look into it, but it would be pretty interesting. But I think Kingsbury is going to be considered for a head coaching job. And some of the names I would love to say are going to get head coaching consideration. All right. Good question, though.
All right, man. Thanks, Smitty.
All right, Ron, final thoughts. I think I heard someone snoring. I didn't know if it was Ron. Ron, you there? I heard a...
Ronald.
Yeah, hear it. There it is. He's sleeping.
Yep.
Ron, you okay? Just making sure he's actually okay. That sounds like a breathing. It's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
There's the apnea. Ron?
Yep. Yeah, he's sleeping. Come back, Ron.
Ready? Watch this. Hold on. Hey, this is Tomlin, Ron. I just, we've heard about you and your football knowledge. We'd love to bring you in to consult. I know this is probably a dream come true for you. What do you say, pal? One more ride? I know you're retired, but you think you can hang him up? Come coach for me? This is his favorite dream of all times. He's all right. This is Con. This is Con. Hey Ron, this is Con. I'd like you to replace Tomlin.
Bring Kenny Pickett back.
Small. You want any quarterback, we'll get him. You want small hands, Kenny? You want Kirk Cousins? We'll bring him in. Whatever you want, Ron. You are the head coach.
Bring them both.
Tomlin, we just fired Tomlin. You get his parking spot, his vehicle, his golf cart, everything. It's yours.
Kenny Pickett backs up Kirk Cousins. Dream team.
taking some long pauses. All right, we'll hang up on him. Normally, this is the first time this has happened since like the very beginning days. He's always real smart about muting himself, and if he ever does fall asleep, we can never hear him. But Ron got caught. All right.
Hot and lazy.
All right, we're gonna disconnect from Ron. Ron, appreciate you. Have sweet dreams, young prince. You are the coach of the year, pal. Ron. Coach of the year. They're picking you up right now in your dream, pal. All right. Travis, anything else? Too much steak.
Yeah, just with the Cleveland job, like I think they should just roll the dice on Dion, because now's the time to do it. I mean, if Shedeur fails, you're going back to the bottom anyway. I mean, they don't have a top 3 pick this year, so you're not getting top quarterback.
If you don't,
so it's like, just see how it works.
If you don't want Deion Sanders coaching his own son, as corrupt feeling as that feeling is, if you don't want that, then you're not very fun at parties. Like, who cares?
You don't like it?
Yeah, it was just entertaining, man. Just alone. I mean, just the idea. Not to mention, it worked in college. It was lethal. Were they always the best team? No, but they could go out and ball against anybody. It was backyard street football, and I would love to see Deion Sanders out there. Probably bring in Shiloh. It would be hilarious. We'd see so much controversy. The NFL would be, the views would be through the roof. The controversy would be through the roof. Every day, the Twitter space, all of X, Twitterville will be littered with Deion Sanders controversy. It'd be the best thing for the NFL. If it's rigged, it's going to happen. If you really believe the NFL is rigged, Shedeur Sanders will have Deion Sanders as his head coach. There's no way that the NFL would pass on this if it's a rigged situation.
Yeah.
Right, Ron?
And the last thing I was just going to say was the Raiders. It's such a clean slate. Like, how often? I mean, maybe once a decade do you have someone that gets even a top 1 or 2 pick, but the number 1 pick with a no doubt number 1 quarterback coming out as a prospect, and you have a Bowers, a Genti, a Max Crosby, like all these elite pieces. Because that's the trick, is getting enough elite pieces together and then building out a team from there. They have the hardest part done. You know, as long as Mendoza turns out to be a good quarterback. So for that reason, that's my number 1 spot. But I get why people would say New York too.
Psst. Ron, wake up, Ron.
What's Ron's room?
Tomlin got fired. Wake up. Ron, Tomlin got fired. All right, Travis, anything else?
No, good topic though. It was a good conversation. Appreciate it.
All right, later, bro.
Later.
I don't know if we'll do Dynasty tonight. I was gonna, but I think I'm gonna just create a Dynasty video, upload it, and it'll be there for the morning. Ron got me tired. I think I'm questioning myself now. I'm questioning my life choices. Maybe I'm working too hard. Maybe I need to take a nap. All right, I'll see you all tomorrow. I should have a Dynasty video up at some point. I should have a redraft or main channel video. This is the main channel you're watching here. Video up. Make sure you are on the live chat Patreon 24/7 365 live chat group is right here. I'll pin the link in the live chat. There it is. Boom. And here is the link. Let me pin it. There, I can't. Why won't this pin? Hold on. There it is. All right. See you all later. Appreciate every single one of you. Thank you, Caps. Thank you, DJ. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Cabal. Appreciate you. T1E. The reports were Kingsbury's going. Yeah. I mean, Kingsbury and LV would be good. He definitely likes to develop the quarterback from the ground up. All right, see you all tomorrow.